13 million people nationwide are at risk of having their livelihoods altered by rising sea levels. Cities and towns are having to make difficult decisions to survive.
Chris Conte shows us one innovative project that would have prevented flooding has gained national attention recently, but is now getting some pushback.
When you have done something all your life, been someplace just as long,
this is where we've been all our life. So.
The prospect of change comes with it a deeper sense of meaning.
Mother Nature, really hasn't come back since Katrina.
58 years old, Ray Vaugh is a fifth-generation fisherman.
Of course, that's a little oyster.
His son, the sixth.
It's going to continue to grow.
These waters off the Gulf of Mexico have provided this family with their livelihood for a century. But the waters here are rising. More intense storms are eroding the coast, changing the fishing industry as well.
There's nothing outside to stop it.
So much so that Ray now uses his fishing boat to haul rocks out to sea, in hopes of giving the oysters he harvests something to latch onto.
This oyster here landed on this shell. That's what kept this oyster alive and let it grow.
As land in the Mississippi River Delta continues to disappear.
This is what we got to do now to keep our beds alive. We got to keep putting, they call it culture material.
Ray is not the only one taking note of rising sea levels, though. For years, the Louisiana Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority has been working on a plan to preserve the coastline here. 12 million people live along the river as it winds through 10 states. The idea is to move sediment through a channel about 7 miles south into Mid-Barataria Bay. A section of the Mississippi Delta that was once all wetlands is now just water because of rising sea levels.
We weren't going to be able to do nothing, obviously. Change was coming.
Last year, we got an up-close look at a model researchers are using to study the sediment diversion project.
You're actually able to observe, what's happening with the flow pattern.
But now the project is coming under a firestorm of criticism from the unintended consequences of diverting the world's 15th largest river. Homeowners are concerned about flooding. Environmentalists are warning about the potential loss of bottlenose dolphins. Shrimpers worried about their livelihoods. This river generates billions of dollars in commerce for the country each year.
Putting this diversion is going to put me out of business, and a lot of people out of business, basically.
For the patchwork of rural communities along the Mississippi, this just feels like another blow to keep urban areas like New Orleans from going underwater. As sea levels rise worldwide, sediment diversion projects are the kinds of climate change mitigation concepts communities are having to look at simply to survive.
Proverbial saying about the nail in the coffin.
But hardworking Americans like Ray Vaugh are left to wonder at what cost. It's not that you disagree that something needs to be done.
No, there's no doubt. We need to save all this whole parish down here will be gone eventually.
Those who live at the mouth of the Mississippi know nothing can stop this river's fury. The question is, what's the best way to protect what's left here? On the Mississippi River Delta, I'm Chris Conte.